So looking over to our kind of new team, the newest team on the block, on the show at least, the Seattle Seawolves. On the 26th, they played the Austin Gilgronis. Now, quick note on Austin. Do you know what their team is named after?
No.
It's a cocktail.
Actually?
A pro rugby team is named after a cocktail. I think there's 2 teams in Major League Rugby that are named after cocktails. Do I find that funny? Yes.
Is there a cool reason for that?
No.
Oh.
Just a I think the owner spoke about it, but I mean, when you think about sort of the funniest names in Major League sports, I gotta think that's gotta be up there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the small note on Austin there. But speaking of Austin, Seattle and Austin came into the game both 3-0, so a battle of the undefeateds. Austin was number 1 in the Western Conference. Seattle was number 2. Seattle unfortunately loses this game of the undefeateds 18-25 in the pouring rain. So that kind of sucks, but we're about a quarter of the way through the Major League Rugby season. To be 3-1 and to have 14 points is not a bad thing at all. It's a good start. 3-0 was your best start to a season ever in franchise history. So I think it's a good start. I don't want to say, you're doing great, because you still got a long way to go, and we know how with any league you can start great, but it's if you tank the rest of the way, it doesn't matter, obviously.
How was that game on Saturday?
It's kind of been similar to the way that the Seawolves have played all season. They've had good defense, but that's the thing. Those games against Toronto and Utah and San Diego, the San Diego and the Utah games, you won with a last-second defensive stand. Mm-hmm. The seawall defense, that's where that name comes into play. You can't rely on your defense all the time, right? Right. It doesn't matter how great your defense is. If you can't get anything generated on offense, hey, good luck, dude, right? So that was kind of the frustration. Seattle has some things to clean up in terms of, getting offensive consistency and cleaning up some turnovers. They've got some things to clean up, but if you're able to clean that up, you're a dangerous team, So that is something to really put your hat on, to hang your hat on. If you're the Seawolves, you've got some things to work on, but you know what they are. Mm-hmm. It's not like the Sounders where I don't know what the issue is. The vibes are off, right? So that's the good thing. Is you got you're 3-1. You sit a third in the Western Conference right now, and you know what you need to clean up. Unlike with hockey, where you don't necessarily get practice days, you've got some time here before your next matchup. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the NFL, where you've got like a week or so sometimes to get that underway. So you said 3-1. You're third in the Western Conference with 14 points. And so who are they taking on next week, Bel?
On Friday, March 4th, they take on NOLA Gold at 7:30 p.m.
So that is another home game for the Seawolves that will be here at Starfire Sports in Tukwila. Again, like I was talking about with the rain, if you can make it out to these games, I would do so. With any game that I've ever covered, I always prefer to be there in person. I know that it was kind of funny. I think a while ago, like a few years ago, it was like, are these high definition televisions and these broadcasts going to take away the in-game experience? No. That was never going to be the case for me. But Starfire Sports in Tukwila, it's a great atmosphere. Despite the rain that was there on Saturday, we had a full house at Starfire Sports in Tukwila. So if you can get down there, please do so. It's a great experience. If you like some of those things where they're a little bit more laid back than, say, a Seahawks game, perfect opportunity for you. And they're a winner, 3-1. That game, yes, Tukwila. Let's see minimum ticket price for those of you who may be like, how much are tickets? I will answer that for you. We'll look at tickets here. Buy tickets versus the NOLA Gold. That game, the minimum ticket price, COVID notice as we continue with this pandemic, as the site loads, $20. $20 is pretty solid. The highest ticket is $55. It's pretty good. So you get in there, you get to a team that, as I mentioned, 3-1 to start the season and has already won 2 championships just a few years ago. So that's pretty good. That's kind of our week here at Circling Seattle Sports.